It is said that blood runs thicker than water, so we work in China, especially among minorities in remote mountainous regions. A group of supporters recently went to Wuding County in Yunnan Province, where we keep children at school through our school fee aid program.
On this trip, we began with an exchange of activities with the pupils in Jigaidza Primary School. I found the children delightful. They were very well behaved and gave us a warm welcome. It is only because of CEDAR's financial support that they are able to study, and all of them work very hard at their classes. After that, I was really impressed by our trip to Puja village, where we visited their reservoir in the mountains. In the past, villagers had to climb up the mountain to collect water daily, or once every few days. The winding path is very treacherous. We heard that on rainy days, people slipped and fell to their deaths. So, in 1998, CEDAR gave them a grant to bring the water down from the peak. They bought a lot of pipes and worked to connect the water source to the village. Since then, they have tap water supply, and that back-breaking walk has become no more than a memory. After the trip, I reflected and realized we are living in the midst of plenty. Here in Hong Kong, I consider it a problem when I can't get a shirt in the color I want. People living in the inland provinces, whose basic needs remain unmet, face immense problems that gave me a different perspective. I was once indifferent to poverty alleviation. Now, I will try to give more time and money to the poor and to help more people in need.
Poor sanitation prevails in China's rural communities, where 33% of the population do not have access to clean water and 75% do not have proper toilets. In Xishuangbanna Prefecture in Yunnan and Yangxin County in Hubei, we run integrated community development sites. We encourage villagers to voice their needs and come up with solutions that they themselves run.
The woman in this photo is Liu Hua. Her household is one of the poorest in Hongshan village, where we have an integrated community development project. This widow, seen here with her sons, wore a blank, wooden expression when we first met her. Her face showed us she had resigned herself to life without hope. A year after we began our ICD project in Hongshan, though, that had changed. Here you see her radiant, as she is every time she mentions the goats that are now in her care. Her story illustrates our goal to meet more than mere physical need in the villages. We want to bring hope to the poor, so they will no longer have a victim mentality and aid-dependent thinking. We want them to be confident that they can decide their own future. This is very important to us. We have other activities in Hongshan, such as water projects, animal husbandry, health and hygiene training, literacy, etc. For these, we have recruited Christian workers in both Hubei and Yunnan and provided professional training before and after they began working with us. Staff members live in the villages and assist the local committees to develop the community. The water project is an example. Right from the beginning, villagers actively proposed how to go about it. We first elected village representatives, then discussed how to divide the work and carry out the various steps. The entire village took part in the process. Neighbouring villages learned of our effective work in Hongshan and invited us to carry out similar projects in their villages. We hope we can have more resources so we can help more people.
You have just glimpsed many harrowing scenes of poverty and hardship in the developing world. We live in a wealthy environment. What are our feelings as Christians about these situations? Do we look at God's world with God's eyes? Do we try to understand the hardships of the poor? They in fact make up almost half the world's population. And in the next 10 years, their situation will get worse as our environment deteriorates and the ecological balance is further damaged. This will bring more cyclones, more flooding, and more droughts. As children of God, how can we become channels of God's love and compassion to the poor? The Bible reminds us that Jesus not only preached the good news verbally, he went about doing good. And as his followers, we do best to copy him. Then God's good news will be demonstrated to all. CEDAR Fund's motto is from church, through church, to help the poor. Is this not what God commands us to be? Light and salt in the world. This is your responsibility as it is mine.
他们说世界太寂寞，为爱付出一切，只换来眼泪。花儿开，花有谢，转眼一场空。我承认留不住天真，但冷漠的人间仍有温暖的安慰，感动我，鼓励我，珍惜我所有。我相信上帝的悲悯，母亲的眼泪，孩子的眼睛，沉默的谦卑，胜过世界喧嚷的骄傲。我相信，真心，我相信。爱情的见证，守约的可贵，宽恕的美丽，无悔的奉献，点亮生命深藏的意义。哦，我深